Hello, welcome to episode 13 of the Wild World podcast. I'm your host, Thomas, from the Wild World YouTube channel, and I'm joined, as always, with my co-host, Mika.
We're back from a long, hectic holiday break. I hope everyone is doing all right. I thought it was fine to go away because I didn't know a lot of people listened to us, but actually I got a lot of emails while we were gone, so now I feel bad that we left you hanging. Sorry about that.
Well, we'll get through them today, I guess.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll just start right away with Wildlife Radar. What's been on your Wildlife Radar?
Well, it's been a long time, so there's been a lot. Like right now, there are a lot of geese flying over my house all the time, in a V, and they're honking. The other day, well, like 2 months ago, I was walking outside. It was really cold and no one else was out, like really misty. And then out of the mist, right next to me, there was this huge deer with huge antlers, and it was scary because it was so close, like it could have killed me. And he was just like, he got so close to me. We can share a picture if you want.
Oh, you took a picture?
Yeah, I sent it to you.
Oh, cool. Oh, sorry, I didn't get it.
It was like 2 months ago, and you did get it. You said, "Oh, cool" at the time too.
Okay, I forgot.
And I've been seeing a lot of large birds of prey. Thomas came to where I live, and we saw a herd of bighorn sheep, which is very rare, and it was crazy. What?
Every time I go to where you are, everyone tells me it's rare, and then I see them.
It is rare. You're just a magnet. And then the last thing for me is that we saw some wolves at a wolf sanctuary. They're like captive wolves. Well, they were captive and being kept as pets, so now they can't be released into the wild, but they're in a big sanctuary habitat now, and they do like interacting with humans, so we got to pet them and stuff. We can share pictures of that, right? Or no? It said you're not allowed to use it for a commercial enterprise, but we don't make money from this podcast.
We lose money on this podcast.
So it's okay, right?
I think so. Because it wouldn't be like we're using the pictures to make money, even if we did make money off the podcast. I feel like. Which we don't and probably never will.
What about your wildlife radar?
Well, I also saw a coyote.
Yeah. Why don't you tell everyone about what it was like to meet the wolves, though? That's the best thing that we've done.
It was, but I just wanted to put that in there, the coyote thing, because that's also pretty cool.
Yeah, the coyote thing is cool, but if you were
anyway,
done...
More about the coyote. I was also walking in the cold. You got to talk about the deer.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, that's all I have to say. Yeah, the wolf thing was pretty cool. At first, when I heard you go in with the wolves, I think we were both a little bit skeptical, a bit afraid that it was going to be like some kind of Tiger King style thing.
Yeah.
But it's not that, because the wolves are like all rescues from captivity already, right?
Yeah.
And they don't breed wolves there. They're pretty strict about that.
And they were really excited to see people. They were like howling and trying and staring at us and trying to get us to go in, so.
Yeah.
No, they don't pay for wolves, is what they said.
Yeah. What else? Yeah, and it's when you're in with the wolves, you need to be stationary, and it's kind of up to the wolves if they want to come up to you or not.
And they came up to Thomas a lot. They loved him.
Yeah.
They were fighting over him.
Yeah. Don't know why.
The other people who were there got jealous and had to be like given special experiences apart from us.
Yeah, and then they got the most photogenic pictures that we nearly bought. We nearly bought someone else's pictures because they looked so good.
Yeah, it's a ripoff that you're so good with wolves. They like bit his nose off almost. And they licked his whole face. They stuck their tongue in his mouth.
I kept my mouth closed, actually.
Oh, well. But they would have.
They probably would have, yeah.
They ignored me.
I don't think they ignored you, did they?
Well, they didn't. I never got to pet.
They licked your face a bit.
Yeah, but I never got to pet the male wolf.
Yeah,
anyway.
He was more shy than the female, though.
Yeah. So we saw wolves. Look at the pictures online on our YouTube if we upload them. We probably will. Right?
I guess so.
Yeah. And we also got some like free wolf fur from the thing because it was like shed wolf fur. And
Hmm.
then Thomas showed it to his dog, and his dog had like no reaction, right? Or was he a little scared?
I mean, I don't know what he was feeling. He like sniffed it, and then he kind of just did his weird eye thing that could mean anything. Like give shifty eyes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, is that everything?
Speaking of wolves, wildlife news.
Yeah. So the latest news that I thought of for this segment is that wolves are being reintroduced to Colorado. So voters passed this last year, but it's just started being implemented. And they just like dropped the wolves off randomly in small groups in an undisclosed location. Undisclosed because they don't want people to like go and try to kill the wolves, I guess. But so it's just a few wolves at a time in places that are a bit far apart from each other, but all in one area of the state. So yeah, the farmers are a bit mad. They're like scared of the wolves, you know. I think it's sort of scary because like, what if you're just hiking and then there's just a bunch of disoriented wolves, you know? But I
Why would
think
they
it's
be disoriented?
because they've just been dropped off in the middle of nowhere. They don't know where they are. But I don't really think it's that scary. I'm more excited. What I'm really wondering is if they'll find each other and what they're thinking right now, you know?
Yeah.
What would you be thinking if you were a wolf?
Um, I don't know. There's a lot of coyotes around. Need to learn their place.
There are coyotes everywhere.
Yeah.
But the coyotes in Colorado are probably really like bold. They think they can rule everything, and wolves are like,
Yeah.
mm-mm. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. What about you? Do you have a story for us?
Speaking of wolves, is the Redwolf. So we said that no wolves are being bred at the wolf sanctuary, but that's not entirely true. There
It
are,
is true.
well, they're hoping that there might have a breeding pair. Yeah, so no one are currently breeding, but there is one pair they're hoping will breed.
Is that what they said? I thought they said they're not sure what the government wants them to do with that pair, and they might want them to breed, but they didn't say if they wanted that to happen at the sanctuary. I mean,
Maybe I'm misremembering, but I thought they said they were hoping that it would happen, but they didn't think it was likely because they'd been together for so long now.
oh yeah. Well, because the female wolf is so old. That's the thing.
Hmm.
But I thought that when the Fish and Wildlife like reclaimed them, I thought they were going to take them someplace else.
Well, I thought they were already claimed by Fish and Wildlife.
Yeah, but then they were going to reclaim them for their breeding program, maybe. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Anyway, we're talking about the red wolf, the extremely endangered red wolf. So there's also been a recent story in the news about the red wolf, but I'm going to quickly go over some of the history to explain the story. So the red wolf used to be really successful in the eastern United States, but today there are less than 20 in the wild, or maybe slightly more than 20. They were declared extinct in 1980, but thanks to the Endangered Species Act in the early 70s, some of the last remaining ones were all taken up, and they had a small captive breeding population. They made a good attempt to reintroduce them. This small population of wolves is only 14, so every current living red wolf is a descendant of these 14. From 1987 to 1994, they reintroduced them, and then by 2012, there was about 1 to 200 red wolves in the wild in North Carolina, an Alligator River National Wildlife Refuge. But there was pressure from farmers and local politicians and a loud minority that sort of stopped all the conservation efforts, and that's why they've dropped back down to about 20 today. Their biggest threat obviously is humans killing them or shooting them and getting hit by a car, but there's also another thing that threatened them that I was sort of surprised by. Do you want to guess what it is, or do you already know?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that? The question?
Okay, well, I hope someone was listening
No,
at
I am
home.
listening. I am
The other
listening.
thing that was a threat to them is hybridization with coyotes, which I thought was sort of interesting. So that's sort of,
Well, yeah. Yeah. Because people
didn't
think they look similar, right?
yeah, but I didn't think that
Yeah.
meant they were interbreeding and stuff. But anyways, now that there's more pressure from conservation groups, they're hoping to try again, or they are trying again. They think it will take about 40 to 50 years to get them off the endangered species list, and about over $300 million. So, I don't know, it's going to take a very long time, but it might work. Some of the things they're doing to try and stop them from being mistaken for coyotes is they are putting reflective orange collars on them. And I guess that's also to help them not get hit by cars if they have a reflective piece of clothing on them. And they're also trying to sterilize about 10% of the coyote population each year for the next 25 years.
Wow. If the coyotes could talk about that, they'd be really upset.
Maybe they were the vocal minority that were trying to stop the red wolves from coming back in. Yeah, so hopefully the red wolf will do better. I'll put some links below for places you can support. I don't know. The fact that like they nearly did it over a 30-year period and then it like fell apart in like a couple of years, it's pretty disheartening for any future attempts, but hopefully it will work better this time. Hopefully nothing will go wrong in 50 years.
Yay. Okay, should I do my last story?
Yep.
So my last story is about pythons in the Everglades and the python hunting program. So volunteers go in and hunt for them and kill them. A lot of them are like snake fans, so it's very sad that they kill them, but they're really good with snakes, so it's easier for them to find them, and they're not like afraid. You know, lots of people are afraid of snakes. So there are 6 state-sponsored competitions in Florida, or there have been over the past decade, to reward the hunters who kill the most Burmese pythons. You're not allowed to use a gun. You have to use air guns and captive bolt pistols.
Okay, not really sure what they are, but okay.
They're not like bang bang guns. They're some I don't know. They're like non-lethal for human. I don't know. I'm not a gun person. I'm sorry.
Probably less dangerous for humans or something.
Yeah. The contest is held over 10 days in August. Hundreds of people are there trying to find the snakes. So this year, or last year, I guess, it was 1,035 hunters who caught 209 pythons. The winner caught 20 snakes and got $10,000. One person won a prize for catching a python that was 10 feet 9 inches. And then when these competitions aren't happening, there are about 100 people who are working and hunting throughout the year. They're given access to areas that like normal people aren't allowed to go. Since 2000, more than 19,000 pythons have been removed from the Florida wilderness, which is, most of them have been removed by like contracted agents, but then I guess the rest have been removed by these volunteers. And they're not really volunteers, they are paid money. It's $18 an hour, $50 per foot, and $25 for $50 per foot for the first 4 feet, and then remove a python nest is $200. So, yeah, they don't like make a lot of money. Sorry, I'm confusing myself because I can't remember, like, I know there's the volunteers who do the big competition trying to get the prize money, and then there's the contractors, and then there's like, actually I think the contractors are the ones who are not paid very well, and the volunteers for the like competition don't get paid at all. So it's more like a part-time job. You can't like be a professional python hunter. And it does take about 12 hours to catch each python, so like that's not a very good pay. Yeah, but people do it for the love of the environment, not for the riches and fame, you know.
Yeah.
So I was thinking like
go ahead.
I was thinking it would be really fun to do that, but then I don't want to kill the snakes, so it wouldn't be fun anymore at that point.
Yeah. When they say 19,000 removed, have any of them been removed without being killed, or is that not a thing?
I guess maybe some of them have become pets or like ambassadors at a zoo or something. I don't know. Don't give
Give
me
them out
face.
as pets again?
No,
Never
not
take it
give
as
it
a pet.
out, but maybe one person was like, "Oh, I can take it as a pet because they're very good at." I don't know.
It's illegal to have them as pets now, since like 2021 or something.
Okay, well then not that. I don't know. Maybe they went to a zoo. Some of them. That could
Well,
be a
it's
cute
just
little book, like a picture book about the little python that escaped death and then lived in a zoo.
sort of sad that 20,000 pythons had to be killed just because people were being fools and trying to keep them as pets when they couldn't.
Yes, but they're in a better place now.
Dead?
They're in snake heaven. They're not crowded in Florida. Although maybe Florida is snake heaven. I don't
I feel
know.
like it probably is snake heaven for them. Since they're doing so well.
True. Well, that's all. I'd like to hear your thoughts, listeners. Would you like to be a professional, semi-professional python hunter? Let us know. Would you like to do it, Thomas? I don't think you would.
No, I don't want to kill a python.
Yeah, you're too nice. Would you kill a python if it was about to, like, hurt you?
Could I get away?
No.
Is it like wrapped around me?
You're, like, backed into a corner.
A python backed me into a corner?
Yeah.
I don't really see that happening.
All right.
I guess if one was like wrapped around me or something, and it was my only means of escape.
Mm-hmm. This is very sad. Should we move on?
Mm-hmm.
So our wild chat today is totally not copying anyone.
So today we're gonna rip off someone else who made a better version of this video.
We're doing an unprepared, abridged version, but I did it because I deserve to, because
Wow, you deserve to.
they used something that's my intellectual property, so now I'm going to use their
Oh,
intellectual
come
property.
off it. They played like 5 seconds of a song and then didn't play anymore because they were afraid of copyright.
I'm just saying, like...
My intellectual property.
I'm just saying, I thought if they're going to pay an homage to me, I'll pay an homage to them. Why not?
Yeah, that's an
Okay.
homage. It's not a rip
It's an
off.
homage.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yeah. We should
Okay.
explain what we're doing, because
Yeah.
no one knows.
I'm going to
You're so
explain it a bit
cryptic.
more. So,
Okay.
another YouTuber by the name of Calvin the Carnotaurus and his friend Gecko made a cat tier list. And I think it was in response to Tier Zoo. Do you know who that is?
Nope.
A really popular YouTuber who makes tier lists for animals as if they're fighting game characters. But but Calvin and Gecko made a cat tier list.
And I didn't agree with it.
Yeah, well, it actually is a pretty good list considering their criteria. Like, they clearly were saying, like, how successful is it? How widespread is its range? So, like,
Okay.
for them, I think, like, the house cat was S tier because it's everywhere, and
Yeah.
then A tier was like leopard and mountain lion. I think.
But I don't want to do it, like, scientifically. I want to do it based off vibes.
Yeah, we have to do it another way. Otherwise, we're just gonna rip off their video even more.
So our cat tier list is not going to have all the cats. It's going to have a selection. And it's going to be, like, based off of general vibes, how much we like them. For me, like, how excited would you be to see it in the wild? How excited would you be to see it at all? Is it cool? Is it unique? That's sort of what I'm ranking them based off of.
Yeah, I don't know how this is gonna go, but basically, I think the reason we're doing I don't know what this is anymore, a response, a rip-off, an homage, is because they put the fishing cat in E or D tier, pretty low.
D, yeah.
D, yeah.
Which was really rude.
Which makes sense given their criteria. And they played your song, which was very
Yeah,
nice of
but
them.
the fishing cat is wonderful. Like, it's very good. So I want it to be higher up, which is the whole point of making this tier list.
And Mika left a really aggressive comment.
No, I didn't.
Okay. Well, anyway, I'll link their original video below if you want to see a scientific version of this list, I guess. Okay, so you can see my screen, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hopefully the viewers will be looking at my screen as well. So is there any cat you want to do first?
You choose. I don't know.
Okay, for people just listening to the podcast, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 cats. Let's just start with the tiger.
Okay. So I think the tiger is pretty good because it has a unique color scheme. It's very big. Maybe the biggest. It's powerful. It's iconic. So yeah, like I don't know. S?
S?
Well, why not?
Well, if a tiger is S, then like a fishing cat is very different from a tiger, don't you think?
A fishing cat is also iconic, and it has its own
But it's
little
not
skills.
powerful. You said it was powerful and big were two of the criteria that you said to get it into S.
Well,
I'll put
I
it in
said,
S if you want.
well, for me, it's like, are they the best at what they do? And the tiger is best at being powerful, so S.
Okay. So we might move this around a bit more. So for now, the tiger is the top of S tier for everyone listening.
Do you agree with me?
Sure. I like tigers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mountain lion next?
Okay. Mountain lion. Well, it's boring color scheme. I've talked about this before, but when you're in the presence of a mountain lion, it's actually really cute, and it has big fluffy paws. And it's like really, it's crazy how it's in the entire like North America through South America.
Really good range, yeah.
Yeah. But it's just like boring. Well, I would be excited to see a mountain lion in the wild, but I don't think I'd be excited to see any cat in the wild, so I'd
Would you
be
be
like
more or less excited to see a tiger?
I'd be way more excited to see a tiger, I think.
So
For
it's
a
probably,
mountain lion, I'd be like, oh. I mean, I'd be excited, but the chance of me seeing a mountain lion is way higher than seeing a tiger. Well, maybe not. I don't know. What do you think?
yeah. I think so. They're also very good at what they do, but so points for that, but we're docking points for the color scheme and aesthetic, I guess.
And just they're everywhere. I don't know.
How about top of C?
Okay. Again, this is a very I
This
wouldn't
is-
recommend anyone do our ranking method because it's entirely based on whim.
Yeah, Calvin's video is much better than this. This is just extremely subjective.
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to choose the next one?
Okay, let's do the what is that?
What? This?
The one on the left, bottom left. Yeah, what is that?
The African golden cat.
Okay, let's do the African golden cat then. I don't know why you chose it. I don't know a lot about it.
Well, I just found it because it came up as a possible explanation for a cryptid. But it's not a cryptid. It's a real cat. It's a really rare cat. It's in like tropical regions of Central and Western Africa, I think. It's not particularly big. I think it looks pretty cool. I like that it's so rare. Or it might actually not be like, I think its population's pretty good, but it's just so like secretive and elusive that there's very few videos and pictures of it. Do you think it looks cool?
Yeah, it looks like it could be someone's pet.
Yeah, it's a little bigger than a domestic cat.
It has a weird face.
Uh-oh.
It looks like the Pink Panther, his face.
Maybe. This is also just a drawing.
Huh? Oh, I'm looking online now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's fine. I have no strong feelings about this cat. Weird face for sure.
Eee.
This is so rude. I'm so sorry to this cat, but I don't care. I mean, I do care.
Well, we're gonna have to
Oh,
we can't put all of them in really high tiers.
no. What if we just put them all in S tier because they're all perfect?
Then everyone would be very bored.
No, they'd love it.
What cat should we do
Okay.
next?
Cheetah. I know what I'm putting Cheetah in.
What?
Cheetah is S tier. Fastest land animal? Come on now.
I think it
Like,
should be in B tier.
fastest land animal ever. It has those epic eye lines. It was used for hunting by the ancient Egyptians. Uh, it's really cool and fast, and it's cute. Why isn't it S? It's fast. It's the best at what it does.
Well, it's not really the best at what it does, isn't? Aren't they like really endangered now? And
Okay,
aren't they
I'm not.
really inbred as well?
I wasn't saying the best. The thing that they are best at is like breeding and being genetically diverse. The thing they're best at is being fast. And despite their inbredness, they actually have good like genetic health. So it's one of those rare cases where like inbreeding is not resulting in horribly sick individuals as much as in other case studies. So I don't know.
Okay, I'll put it in S. Do you want it ahead
How
of
about
the
A?
tiger?
A.
Oh, top of A?
We'll compromise. Yeah,
I mean, I'd put it in S if you want.
it's fine.
Okay.
Um,
How about we just do the domestic cat next?
okay. Domestic cats are really cute, but I'm gonna take away points for some cats that I don't think are really cute, such as Persian cats.
Wow.
And it's and also, like they're cute, but it's not an accident that they're cute. They're cute because we want them to be cute, you know. So our hand has been in it, and it would be like it's like the difference between a really beautiful tree that just grew up that way and like okay, I'm sorry, this is a bad example.
What?
It's like the
What are you
difference between a
talking about?
wildflower. It's like the difference between a wildflower and a rose, a cultivated rose. Like,
Okay.
I'm not going to give the rose more points than a wildflower because humans made it that way. And I think domestic cats are wonderful, but
They also cause a lot of problems with
they do
wildlife.
cause a lot of problems. And I wouldn't be overjoyed to see a domestic cat. I mean, actually, I am overjoyed every time I see a cat, but like, compared to if it would be like, oh, you could see a tiger in the wild or you could see a domestic cat in the wild, like obviously I would choose a tiger. So,
I think for our list, the domestic cat should go pretty low.
but they're so cute though, and they're very nice. I like when you pet them, they purr and everything.
They're the only cat on the
Aw.
list that you can probably pet.
That's not maybe that's not true.
Well, I don't know.
I say D.
Above or below the golden cat?
It's not ranked that way. They're the same ranking. Everything that's on the same tier is the same ranking.
No, that's not how it works.
That is how it works.
It isn't. You haven't watched the tier videos. The one
I
that
have
goes
seen tiers before.
Oh, you're ruining this now. Whatever is at in first place is like into like the top of S. That way
If
you
you
can
say
put
so.
multiple things in S, even if one thing isn't as good as the other thing.
Okay, I'm sorry. Lion. Let's do lion. No.
S tier?
I want to downvote it to an A because of this is a compromise again.
Okay, I'm gonna put it ahead of cheetah though.
Okay. So a lion, it is iconic because it is like the most socially collaborative cat.
Yeah.
But I don't like the aesthetics. Like I said before, lions are too macho and their color scheme is boring and their habitat is boring.
Like their
And
habitat is boring.
yeah, it's boring compared to like you're in a jungle and you're like, ooh, where's the tiger? Like
What about the
just
lions that live in?
a golden brown plain. Huh?
What about the Asiatic lions though? They live in Gara National Park in South India.
I guess that it's whatever, but and it would be like if I'm gonna see a lion, I feel like if you go on safari or something, you're probably gonna see a lion. So it's not that exciting. It's just like, oh, it's a lion.
I guess so. People are going to be annoyed that I put tiger above lion, though.
I don't care what people think because we both agree that tigers are great, but you and I disagree on the lions. So because there are two hosts, it's not going to be as high. I'm sorry. It's just how it is.
Okay, what cat do you want to do next?
The Jaguarundi.
Okay, I'm not really sure where to put this.
I think it's fun because remember when we found out Jaguarundis like even existed, and then we found out that you could find them in the United States potentially, and we were like, whoa. But I feel like, huh?
I feel like I've known they've existed for a while.
But I remember when it happened a few years ago when we both rediscovered that they existed or something. We hadn't thought about them.
Maybe, I don't know. We forgot to put jaguars on the list.
Well, we don't have it a big enough. We wanted to make a narrow list.
This is just a sloppy list.
But I feel like Jaguarundis are sort of the poor man's mountain lion. They're like, don't have as big of a range. They're smaller, so less powerful. They're like similarly tawny. So I don't really.
I feel like they have a more unique look. Like I feel like their face is more like a weasel.
They are quite unique, yeah. But
where do you think it should go?
let me look at pictures of them. I don't know. I guess my gut instinct is D.
D.
Yeah.
It's pretty low.
Well,
ahead.
I think I don't care where you put it. It's sort of offensive, like at all, to be ranking these cats. So it's not more offensive to me to put it in D tier because I love them all. You know.
Yeah.
I want them. I wish them all the best. I hope they know that.
Okay.
You want to do snow leopard next?
Yeah, I feel like snow leopard should be pretty high.
Snow leopard is S tier for me, cause if I saw one, I would be content to die. They're like some of the hardest animals to see in the wild at all. They're so cute and fuzzy because they have to live in the cold. Yes, and they're like the ideal color scheme and pattern for a cat.
I'm gonna put it ahead of tiger.
Ooh, cause you agree with me?
Yeah, and I think I'd be more excited to see a snow leopard than a tiger, just a little bit.
I would probably like have a heart attack if I saw a snow leopard. Would you rather see a snow leopard or like a yeti?
A yeti.
Oh, so yeti, if it was on this, it would be S tier above snow leopard.
My favorite cat is a yeti. S tier cat. Well, then
yes.
I'd know that they exist, whereas I already know that snow leopards exist.
I guess that's true. Okay, should we do lynx?
Sure.
So a lynx is very cute. It has unique little ear tufts. It has big, fluffy paws, which is a plus for me. But, I don't know. I think it's sort of cool that there's a European and an American version, but it also makes it less unique.
Yeah.
So I would say like B.
Yeah, I agree.
For cuteness, but yeah. I mean, can't even think of any iconic lynx behaviors. It's not like a not like a tiger, not like a cheetah, not like a snow leopard. It doesn't have anything amazing that it does. It's just walking around on the snow. I don't know. Right?
Okay.
What's next?
Do you want to do clouded leopard?
Sure. Clouded leopards are very beautiful. They have one of the most beautiful fur patterns ever. And they look really soft. And I like their name. It's like heavenly, like I picture cloud forests, clouded leopards, like just so good. But again, they don't have a lot of like particular behaviors that I can think of. And I would be excited to see one. And they are cute. But I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on this?
I feel like they're A, because I think they're more interesting than a lynx or a mountain lion. Okay, 2 left.
Yeah, let's do, what's that one on the left? Serval?
Yeah, I think it's a serval, yeah.
Okay, let's do servals. So servals are interesting because they've been bred into domestic cats, like, and I have met a Savannah cat, and it was very fun. I don't think it was worth the, like, $3,000 that this person paid for the cat, and I think it's sort of unethical, but, like, it was a fun cat. And they do have huge ears, and they are very good at jumping. Like, if all these cats are competing in the Olympics, this one's would be jumping, right? Like, the cheetahs would be running.
Well,
so
a
they
lot
have
of
some
cats can
special
outjump a
skills.
serval, but...
But I remember I used to, like, I watched this documentary when I was little, and it featured the serval as the jumper. Is that wrong?
Well, I guess maybe it's relative to size or something.
Yeah, it, like, jumps up in the air and catches birds.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, they're fine.
I feel like maybe ahead of a lynx in B.
Sure, that's fine.
Okay, and then this little
The
rodent.
fishing cat, redemption. No, no.
Okay, anyway, moving on.
No.
Fishing cat
No.
in E.
No, the fishing cat is S tier. S tier.
Is it really S tier though?
It's S tier because it is so good at swimming. Like, can you name any other cat that would dive to the bottom of, like, something
Does
and
it dive
catch
to the
a fish?
bottom?
Well, I don't know. It's very good at diving. I mean, tigers can swim, but a fishing cat, it's, like, so specialized. And it's really cute.
Pretty sure I've seen pictures of tigers and jaguars, like, fully submerged trying to catch something underwater.
Was it a fish, though?
I can't remember what it was. Does it have to be a fish?
Because fish are fast in the water. It's one thing if they're, like, catching a deer or something, because a deer and a tiger are both on equal, like,
It
water
wasn't a deer.
footing. Okay, well, what was it then?
I can't remember.
Fine. A tier.
Oh, really? Okay.
You were gonna what?
I'd let you put it in S, but I don't know where in S you wanted to go.
That's fine. Next to the tiger, yeah.
Bottom of
Why
S,
would you
yeah.
put it in S?
Yeah, because you said so. I don't know.
Because I
Is it-
said so?
Because of the tune,
Yeah, true.
which is available on Spotify if anyone wants to listen to it.
I think, like, 5 people have listened to it so far.
Cool. Okay.
So this is our redemption ranking. Please tell us if you agree.
Yeah, we should probably read it out again just for our audio listeners. So
Yeah.
S tier at the top. Apparently our favorite cat is the snow leopard, followed by a tiger, and then the fishing cat. A tier is lion, cheetah, and clouded leopard. B tier is serval and lynx. C tier is mountain lion, and then D tier is African golden cat, jaguarundi, and a domestic cat. And E tier is nothing.
No cat deserves to be in E tier. That's just cruel. Maybe that really weird cat that looks like a grumpy old man. The pompous cat, right? Just kidding. I don't want to
do
demean.
that. Yeah.
I wouldn't do that to this cat. No cat deserves to be in it, except for maybe a cat that, maybe the Persian cat goes there.
What do you think of what's that domestic cat that's hairless? Is it a Sphinx cat?
The Sphinx?
Do you have any opinions on that? I'm gonna stop sharing.
I don't really have opinions because it's like, first of all, it has a good purpose, which is that it's hypoallergenic.
Mm-hmm.
And also, well, I don't like it that much, but I don't think it has as many health problems associated with it as Persians do.
Mm.
And also, like, I tend to dislike trends that go towards luxury more than trends that go towards quirkiness. So, like, Persian cats have been prized for a really long time for being like so fancy and amazing for like rich people. And then Sphinx cats are more like, oh, look at my freaky alien cat, which I think is a much better reason sentiment. Um,
Yeah.
but I don't really like either of them that much.
Yeah, I do feel like people are way too harsh on Sphinx cats, though.
Yeah, but I wouldn't really like to have one because the best part about having a cat is like their hair and their fur. So
Right.
it wouldn't be cuddly. If I wanted to have something like that, I would just get a lizard.
But a lizard wouldn't jump and run around your house as freely as a cat.
Okay, fine, I'll get an otter then. I don't know.
Okay. Alright, should we move on
Sure.
to Cryptid Court?
Yeah, Cryptid Court is a discussion, so you should use the other intro, not the other. We have two intros for Cryptid Court. I want the one where they shake hands. Yeah, you used it once and you never used
I
it
have no
again.
idea where I say that.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway.
I'll see if I can find it. Anyway, so the way this works is whenever we do a podcast, we put up a poll of 3 different cryptids that we get from the random cryptid generator, and people can vote on which one they want us to discuss or sometimes debate. And this time, speaking of wolves, we're doing the Andean wolf.
So do you want to give the background info?
Sure, here are just a few brief notes. So, this animal was discovered in 1927 by Lorenz Hagenbeck. There was basically someone who was selling these 3 different pelts. He purchased one. This is in Argentina, and the dealer said it came from a wild dog in the Andes. The pelt was then sent to Munich. In 1935, a German mammalologist examined the skull, said it was similar to a maned wolf, which isn't a wolf, but he said it was similar to that but larger. The skull has been lost since then. We still have the pelt. In 1940, the pelt was examined, and a couple of zoologists said that it was a new genus. However, a lot of people disagreed and thought that it was just a domestic dog. In 1954, another zoologist compared a hair from the pelt of the Andean wolf to a variety of different canids, found strong similarities between the supposed wolf and a German shepherd. They also tried to do a DNA analysis in 2000, but the DNA was contaminated with samples of human, dog, and wolf DNA, so there's not really any good evidence from that.
I'll go over some theories of some explanations for all the facts. It could be a melanistic maned wolf. It could be a domestic dog. It could be a hybrid of domestic dog and maned wolf. The guy Lorenz, who originally got the pelt and was showing it around, was a big fan of animal hybridization, apparently. So it could have even been him who bred them, or he could have just been shown it by someone and they told him it was something else, or he could have been lying and the other person showed him a hybrid animal. So there are lots of possibilities with that, like where it came from. And then also there's the fact that we have a pelt and a skull. Those two things don't have to be the same. Like, it's possible that the pelt was a German shepherd and the maned wolf skull was added to it, and people acted like it was the same, but it's not. Do you have any opinions on this?
Not really. I feel like the details are so sketchy, and maybe the most basic explanation is the most likely one. Like, maybe it was just a dog pelt.
Well, I think another thing is there's no other attestations of this. There's just this one pelt and this one skull. Like, why are there no local legends? Why are there no more sightings? You know?
Yeah. No footprints, no nothing.
Yeah, my theory is okay, this actually isn't my theory, it's just another thought I have. So we don't know where the pelt came from. Because he just bought it from someone, and the person he bought it from said it was from the Andes, right?
Mm,
So it could have been from anywhere.
yeah.
But let's say it really was found from the Andes, um, where again there are no records of this animal living, a similar animal. That's only unusual because the Andes is outside of the usual range of the maned wolf, which is lowland prairie forests, wetlands. So the maned wolf doesn't really live in the mountains. However, dogs are very adaptable creatures. So I was wondering, like, is it not possible for it to be a maned wolf or maybe a natural maned wolf dog hybrid that just wandered off from the group and was like in the mountains for some reason? Even if that's if we assume that it actually is from the Andes, which again isn't clear.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to go saying that it's a new animal. It could just be a weird maned wolf that was in a weird place, right?
Yeah, it's true. And it is, yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe the skull was added separately to try and confuse people because isn't there a lot of hoaxes like that where they try to prove, or they try to make it seem like they found a new like ape and they like got an orangutan jaw and like stuck a bunch of human teeth in it or something.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that.
Yeah, me too.
Do it all the time.
Just can't get enough.
Um,
But I think dog is just like the most obvious,
yeah,
the most boring answer, but I feel like the most obvious answer is probably the most likely.
yeah. I think the most important point to me is the unknown provenance of the sample, which is again it was traded by at some random like dealer, purchased by a dealer or from a dealer in Buenos Aires,
Hmm.
uh, which is not in the Andes. And then they're like, it was found in the Andes. And then the guy Lorenz, who is already like super into weird animal stuff, was like, yeah, and I'm gonna tell all my friends. That is not a compelling. I'm not convinced at all. You know?
Yeah, there is something a little bit suspicious that like a person who would be looking for a new species just happened to talk to like some owner. It's like, do you have a? Because I can imagine the conversation. Like, do you have any pelts of like any interesting animals or anything, or any
Yeah.
animals that are yet to be
Yeah, and he just like
whatever?
had this. He just had this like German Shepherd that he killed because it was on his property and like attacking his sheep or something. And he's all like, "Oh yeah, I've got this. It's perfect for what you want. It's from." And then he thinks, "Where's a weird place for it to be from?" Oh yeah, it's from the Andes. Like he's just
Yeah,
scamming him, possibly. Who knows?
yeah.
If you have any thoughts, listeners, please let us know. But I feel like the Mythbusters right now. I feel like I want to say like this one is busted. You know?
Yeah, there's just so little to go on. There is a separate fox species that lives in the Andes that is sometimes given the name an Andean wolf. That's
Yeah, that one's real.
yeah, that's a completely separate thing. It's a known species.
By the way, I'm looking at Buenos Aires on a map.
Yeah,
It's like coastal on the east coast, and the Andes are on the west. It would take like, let's say you're walking because they didn't. When was this?
1930s,
Oh,
I
they
think.
had cars. They had cars. I'm sorry. I thought it was like the 1800s.
Oh, 1927 is when he purchased it.
Well, maybe they didn't have a car, but what's the? I'm trying to find like a mountain in the Andes. How about Mendoza? That's a place. I'm just trying to find the most direct route to the Andes. Okay, so from Buenos Aires to a national park in the like foothills of the mountains, it's a 15-hour drive and an 11-day hike. 3
And
days by bike.
that's today with
Right.
whatever roads are there now. Who knows what it was like in 1927?
So it went, I mean, even if it did come from there, that's miles and miles and days where it was traveling, where the story could have changed. But more likely, it's not from there at all. So,
Yeah,
once again, this myth is busted.
yeah, most likely, I think.
But if you're from the area and you have a different opinion, I'd like to know. Or if you're not from the area and you have a different opinion, I'd like to know. Maybe.
Yeah. Okay, shall we move on?
Sure. We have a lot of questions today, like I said. So here's a Q&A.
Yeah, and if you want to send us a question, you can send it to the wildworldpodcast@gmail.com.
Yes, please send some more comments and questions. So this is from Dylan. Dylan says, "Hello, I have a couple of suggestions for your animal-based haunted house. Number
Okay.
1, pig or hog noises. You don't even need to see the pigs. Just hearing them snort, squeal, and rustle around in an environment that is already poorly lit, generally spooky, etc. could be extremely unsettling." I agree with that.
Yeah, I remember I used to live in a dorm, and there were all these wild boars that lived by us, and walking by the forest at night. I'd never saw a boar there, but I heard them, and it was pretty spooky, I guess.
And they are used a lot in like horror imagery. And just thinking about like Spirited Away, the scariest part of that is when her, spoiler alert, her parents turned into pigs and they're like rooting around and they're like making noises, and it's just scary because I think it's scary because pigs are so like, well, we picture them as gluttonous
Yeah.
and they're also very strong.
Hmm.
Um, and it's just like they will do anything to get what they want or something. I don't
Yeah,
know.
they just
And
seem
they're
like a
like,
force of nature coming towards
they
you.
seem so carnal, is that the word I'm thinking? Like primal. Like they're just like,
Yeah, especially
yeah,
the noises. Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Number 2, crows or ravens. You even mention them later in the episode. A lot of people don't like them, and they're already associated with horror and Halloween. They make a distinct call and can have numbers on their side, and would interact very well with the hypothetical staff of this business. I'm glad that this person has like fully signed on to our concept, making them the perfect combination of spooky and relatively easy to care for. I agree with this.
Yeah. The only thing that would
Welcome to the murder room. That's what we would say.
yeah, that's a good one. The only thing I'd be concerned about is if you were using real ones that were trained in a haunted house, people might like um get scared and do something like if a crow flies by, they might like punch it or something in fear.
Aw. Okay, well, we'll have to tie their hands behind their back.
Yeah. Yeah, or do something. Like maybe you're walking through a cage, you're walking through an aviary, but you're in like a tunnel, a cage tunnel, so the birds can't actually get to you and you can't get to them
Yeah.
or something. But good idea otherwise, I think.
Number 3 idea is glowworms. They're not scary, at least for most, but not something the average person would typically encounter, and the novelty of the hanging strands of silk might be enough to make people uneasy as they approach something more traditionally scary. I have nothing to say about the practicality of this one, though. Are you afraid of glowworms?
I don't think so.
I'm not, but I guess that
Like,
can be decoration at the door.
I mean, strands of silk coming down from the ceiling could spook people out. But I
Yeah.
feel like that's because it would remind them of spiders. But I don't know, maybe some people are.
They had another message. They sent another email later. I thought of something else. To incorporate mosquito-adjacent animals, use carrion flowers and or fungi, attracting flying insects and also making quite the repulsive smell, adding to the unpleasantness of it all. I guess
Actual
so.
living insects?
Uh, yeah, because the carrion flowers and the fungi are real, and then they attract real insects.
Hmm.
I don't really want an insect infestation in my
Yeah.
haunted house.
Yeah. But if there's some way of replicating it, I think insects
Well,
would
we'll
have.
have spiders. We'll have bunch of spiders and the carrion flowers in the room. So the spiders will take care of the insects, and it's not like we're living in that house, so
Yeah, maybe.
eh, it's possible.
Oh, cool ideas.
And I think Dylan also asked questions. They had suggestions and then they had questions. Where are you from? And or do you choose not to reveal this? Have I missed this information somewhere? How did you meet and decide to collaborate on a podcast? Thank you.
Well, you haven't missed it. You never actually said.
Are we gonna say where we're from today? Oh my goodness.
I don't know. Do you want to say where you're from?
I feel like it's obvious where I'm from because I always talk about local stuff. Um,
I guess you could say the country if you wanted, or you can say whatever you want.
I'm from the United States of America.
Okay.
Okay, are you gonna share where you're from?
Um, I'll say I'm not from the United States.
Oh, wow. That's very specific.
I don't know. I think I want to stretch it out a little bit longer.
Okay. Maybe people have to put together the clues.
Yeah.
And same for me, like, I wasn't very specific either, but I'm sure if you are astute, you can figure out the state I'm from.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if you're not even that astute.
Maybe.
Okay, so I guess we choose not to reveal this because we're fans of mystery.
Yeah. Eventually we probably will. I don't know why I'm stretching it. There's something fun about seeing all the guesses.
Yeah, I really like when people guess where you're from on your comments.
Yeah, some people have guessed correctly, but many have not.
Yeah, we would miss out on the entertainment if we told everyone where we're from.
Yeah.
Although the typical watcher of your videos does not listen to this, so
That's
this could be
true.
like a special. Maybe you could reveal on your Patreon where you're from. If we ever get a Patreon for the podcast, we'll tell
I
you.
just use the same Patreon, I think.
Oh, okay. Second question is more interesting for me to answer, I think.
How did
Like,
you?
how did,
Oh yeah.
yeah, how did, so isn't it true that after the first time you started talking to me, you were like, I'd really like to do a podcast with you? You were thinking that in your head, but you didn't tell me until later?
In 2019, before I even had any YouTube channel, one of the first times I was talking to Mika, we were walking down a mountain, actually. Can I say where?
Yeah, sure.
In Japan. And I guess we just started talking about animals. And I just had the idea of a podcast for a long time, and I thought, I don't know, Mika seemed to be very interested in talking about animals and stuff. So like, this person might make a good co-host. But we were barely even friends or anything at that point. So like, I don't think we even like hung out again for
A
like
few
6 months or something.
No, we hung out in October,
Did we?
and that was in August when we climbed the mountain, so
Okay. And then when
yeah.
did we start this podcast? 2023?
Yeah.
Wow. So 4 years later.
So for 4 years, he was thinking I would be such a good host for the podcast, but he never told me.
I probably did mention it to you before.
Not really, not until right before we made it.
Hmm. Okay. Well, I hope that was an interesting story.
Okay, so thank you, Dylan.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, next is from Calvin.
The same Calvin.
I think so.
Yeah, it is. I'm pretty sure it is. The same Calvin
Yeah.
who made the good cat tier list.
Thank you for liking my song, first of all.
Your intellectual property, as you like to call it.
Well, it is my intellectual property.
Yeah, but the way you said it, they used my intellectual property.
I said that in a friendly way.
They're free to use
Moving
it as
on.
much as they want, I presume, right?
Use it more.
Yeah. I don't, because I have no copyright on YouTube on it.
I have a copyright on it, but I don't know how that works. I've never
You have a copyright on
had a
Spotify,
copyright
right?
before. Yeah, and on YouTube, I think.
But if you have a copyright on YouTube, how come our channel doesn't get hit with a copyright strike?
I don't know. It's confusing. That's why I don't understand, but
Okay, well,
we'll get to it when we get to
it's
it.
basically not copyrighted, but if you get a strike from us, we'll get rid of it
We'll
if
allow
we
it.
can. Yeah, we don't intend to strike anyone.
So Calvin says, "Hi Thomas and Nika. I was wondering if in one of your future cryptid courts you could talk about the Queensland tiger. From my own research, it's a pretty interesting cryptid and even appeared in some critically acclaimed, though now long outdated, reference works on Australian wildlife, with the most famous of these being Furred Animals of Australia by Ellis Troughton. Reportedly, it was pretty commonly seen in northern parts of the state, with several people reporting to have killed one, trying to, or witnessing fights between the creature and their dogs." Wow, this is long. Okay. One man interviewed by famous Queensland tiger researcher Janice Plunkett claimed that in 1904 their father killed one in their kitchen, and two farmers claimed to have seen one eating one of their cattle and later scared it off when they cracked their stock whips at it. One woman Plunkett interviewed said her husband chased one of these things through the bush and stated that if you cornered it, it would rip you to pieces. One man claimed Queensland tigers had killed several of his dogs also. Some theories have emerged, but as far as I'm aware, the two most popular is that it's either a thylacolionoid, thylacoleonid, yeah, or a short-faced form of thylacine. Either way, whatever it is, it appears to have been around for a long time, with even the native Aboriginal people being aware of it. Sadly, if it is a real animal, which seems possible, it might be on the verge of extinction, due to the fact that since the 1950s, sightings have been dropping off at a rapid rate. As Malcolm Smith remarked when he pointed out that alien big cats, alien equals foreign, are being reported in Queensland, let's hope the new doesn't kick out the old. If both ABCs, alien big cats, and Queensland tigers are in fact real animals. Oh, so there's like a problem with random like big cats in Australia?
Well, they're like cryptids, like big
Oh.
panthers and mountain lion kind of cats.
Hmm. Then they list some sources. I'm not too aware of any online sources you could use for researching it apart from some books on the Internet Archive and the references on Wikipedia about it, but here's several books I own that contain information on it. Then he lists some books: Mystery Cats of the World Revisited, Australian Big Cats, An Unnatural History of Panthers, Still in Search of Prehistoric Survivors, Out of the Shadows, Bunyips and Bigfoots, up-to-date second edition, In Search of Australia's Mystery Animals. Yeah. Hopefully you enjoy this lengthy email and find the Queensland tiger something interesting to talk about.
Yeah, so I think we've decided that next time we will do it. We were going to do
Yeah,
it this
well,
time, but I guess we just wanted to have another vote.
yeah.
I do have some of the books you listed, actually,
Wow.
so I can share. I can take screenshots and send them to you as well if you want.
So, yeah, that'll be the next Cryptid Court.
I will say, though, since you have a YouTube channel and you seem to have done a lot of research about it, he should really, if he hasn't already, do his own video as well. He'll probably do a better job than we will.
But then that'll be his intellectual property, and then how are we going to talk about it?
We can't even talk about it.
We'll have to like mention again in the video, like, I'm sorry we're making a poor version of the other video, but
Keep ripping him off.
yeah.
He should make a song about the Queensland tiger, and then we should play it in the video.
We should make a cover of like that song, Every Step You Take, and it's just about us like stalking the other channel and copying all their videos.
Yeah. But yeah, next time we will. That'll be our Cryptid Court debate discussion.
And thanks for doing like all the research and writing out all the stuff.
Thanks for all the sources. You know? That's going to help a lot. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. And final email is from Anthony. Hello, Anthony.
There's 2 more emails.
Oh, sorry. 2 more emails. I'm sorry. Second to last. Hello, guys, from Anthony. Regarding the last podcast about the wolves, after listening to it, the story of the beast of Gévaudan came to my mind. Have you heard about it or even maybe seen the movie Brotherhood of the Wolf? What are your thoughts? I would like to hear them. Thanks in advance. Keep up the amazing work. Best regards, Anthony. Didn't we talk about it?
Yeah, a couple of times. The following is from episode 10.
All right, so first, I was listening to a podcast, and it was talking about the beast of Gévaudan. Yeah, have you ever heard of that?
Of course.
Oh, okay. Well, I hadn't. So, yeah,
Well, you should have, because I've talked to you about it so many times.
I tuned it out. So the beast, the podcast said that they killed.
Do you have any thoughts?
I forgot. It was like we talked about it like months ago.
Yeah, just a little bit. It's like this man-eating animal in I think the 1700s in Gévaudan in France that killed hundreds of people.
Yeah.
And it's not. No one's seems entirely sure what it was. From what I can
Like
remember.
we were like, it's a bear, it's a wolf, it's a dog, or something.
Yeah, there's a lot of different theories. Some people think it was like a hyena. Some people think it was a lion, like escaped hyena or lion. I think it's really.
You should find the one where we talked about it, and then you can link it because I don't even remember what we said.
We didn't really talk about it that much. I think you just asked if I heard of it or something.
Okay. I haven't seen or heard of the movie Brotherhood of the Wolf though.
No, me neither. Maybe we can watch it sometime.
We should watch it.
And then we'll do a review. And it'll be on Patreon. our movie
Oh,
reviews. No, it won't go
I'm
up on
not. I'm not on your Patreon, so I couldn't even watch my own video. That's so sad.
I'd send you a link.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, it's something I think I'd like to do a video about it though at some point. But I haven't seen or read anything about it in years, so I don't have too much interesting to say. Sorry.
The movie Brotherhood of the Wolf. The genre is conspiracy thriller, and martial arts.
Martial arts.
Apparently.
Oh, some people think it was a werewolf as well, because it was
Oh.
like shot multiple times and it wouldn't die, which explains martial arts somehow. I don't know.
But yeah, Anthony, please, we should try to talk about it more in depth because apparently when we talked about it before, we didn't talk about it a lot, but we did share some thoughts on it.
Yeah. Let us know if you want
Before.
us to do that, a Cryptid Court on that, and we'll look into it more.
Yeah. Okay. Last email is from Michael.
Michael and Anthony, man. You can always count on those guys.
Yeah. Hey guys, still watching and loving what y'all do. I got a question that may be a Wild World video, but I'm curious if you know the Mapogo lion story. Apparently they were lions that ruled for like 10 years and murdered hundreds of lions. What? Is this true or sensationalism? It seems wildly barbaric and outside what is necessary for survival. They were like serial killer lions of themselves, of all other lions?
Yeah, I think it was a coalition of male lions in Kruger National Park in South Africa. And they fought and killed any lions that came into their territory, I guess. I think a lot of those lions were probably cubs and like females and stuff. Yeah, I've heard they killed over 100 lions. I think it's a true story.
Is it a Wild World video?
Maybe one day.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Have
Do
you
you
ever
think
heard
it
of it?
seems wildly... No. Do you think it seems wildly barbaric and outside what is necessary for survival?
Maybe. What do you think? I know
Maybe a little bit.
they'd like very brutally murder other male lions that came into their territory. But then they got brutally
Yeah.
murdered as well in the end, I think. Or some of them did. Are you looking them up?
Yeah. No, I'm sorry, I'm texting my brother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if it's sensationalized or if it's just like a normal thing that a lion would do. Maybe they're sort of cocky, right? They're like a group of guys. Yeah. Sometimes groups of guys are just unhinged, a little wild. They do things that other people might consider barbaric and
Yeah, like
unnecessary.
murder 100 other guys that you don't like.
Well,
Some of them were children, so that's what. Well, I guess it sort of makes sense though, because if one male lion will kill other cubs, and there's a bunch of lions, and they're also fighting with other males.
yeah. They must have really good territory and they wanted to protect it. Okay?
All right. Thank you for
So thank you.
Michael.
Thank you everyone who commented, who emailed us. That would be Dylan, Calvin, Anthony, and Michael. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But keep them coming. Anything you ever think about, let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like a diary.
Diary.
Okay, so lastly, let's finish off with some random YouTube comments. Didn't someone say that that's the saddest part of this podcast and it always makes them sad? Because, like, it's like I'm picking on you or something?
Oh, ages ago.
Yeah.
But I responded and said I didn't mind anyway.
Oh, okay. Anyway, here's my first quote. Or, comment. I refuse to believe the biggest creature ever to live is living today. That makes no sense. Do you know what that's from?
I refuse to believe the biggest creature living today is what?
I refuse to believe the biggest creature ever to live is living today. That makes no sense.
As in a blue whale?
Can you guess what video this is from?
No.
It's from Why Do People Think Megalodon is Alive?
Huh? So they're saying the megalodon is still alive? Or is it the
They're
biggest living
saying-
thing?
Yeah, they're saying that they don't believe the megalodon is alive because they don't believe that the biggest living thing ever would be living today.
Oh.
But But the megalodon wasn't the biggest living thing ever. I looked up like the list of the biggest living things ever, and it wasn't even in like the top 5.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
And also, the biggest thing to ever live is living.
Yeah, blue
So
whale, right?
yeah, I was like,
Yeah, that's a bit strange. I guess I agree. I don't think the megalodon's still alive. But
imagine if the megalodon was big enough to eat the blue whale. One chomp.
mm,
A megalodon is to a blue whale as a blue whale is to krill. That's how big the megalodon is.
you know, there are
It-
actually people who think there are animals bigger than that even. There's like videos where people zoom in on Google Earth and they're like, look at a mountain range and they're like, this was definitely a dragon.
Yeah, I mean, that's possible. Like, lots of people say that about lots of different geological features. It's a common origin myth. But, yeah, that would be a really big animal. They're just swimming with their mouth open, catching all the blue whales. Yum. Okay, second comment I have for you today is, Jesus, you bored our summer with measurements.
Cheesa?
Jesus. Jesus, like, jeez. You know what video that's
not
from?
Giza?
Could be Giza, I guess.
You bored our summer with measurements?
Yeah.
Like some how big videos?
Yeah. You want me to tell you which one it is?
Yeah.
It's how big can tiger sharks get? You bored them.
Okay. Well, if the video is called How Big Can Something Get, there's going to be measurements in the video. Sorry for boring your entire summer.
They've been watching your video over and over all summer. And they still think that it's as the same size or bigger than the blue whale.
Is that the same guy?
No, I don't
Oh.
think so. That would be pretty interesting.
Yeah,
So that's all I have for you today.
pretty good. Well, sorry this took so long to come out again.
Yeah, we're always going to apologize and we're never going to get better. I'm sorry.
Yeah, maybe it'll be a once a month podcast.
It's really hard.
It is.
We like have stuff to do and we also have a time zone difference.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
where I am now. It's 4 a.m. in the morning.
And I had to wait until I got home from work and then
Yeah.
so
But thanks for sticking with us. If you've made it to this far in the podcast, thank you for listening for so long.
yeah, thank you, loyal fans. I don't know why you're fans of us when we've only released like 5 things. We're very bad podcasters, but
I think we'll be slightly more on track moving forward,
yeah.
rather than what was it, a 2-month hiatus, a 3-month hiatus?
Yeah, because I was really busy because my work was crazy for the last 2 months, so
Yeah, and the holidays and everything.
the holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully it'll be a slightly more regular basis, but anyway, thank you for listening, and I guess we'll see you next time.
Yep. Happy New Year as well.
Yeah, Happy New Year. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
They say that cats don't like water. They must not have known about me. I live, I breathe, I'm in love with the water. It's all that there is to me.
I live in Southeastern Asia, wherever water can be found. Swamps will do, and so will forests too. And I always live alone. Fish are what's on my menu, that's why they call me a fishing cat. I wait on the banks of the river, and when I see a fish, I go splash. Sometimes I just scoop the fish out with one of my cool wet paws, but other times I take a long swim and I dive, grab those fish from my jaws.
They say that cats don't like water. They must not have known about me. I live, I breathe, I'm in love with the water. It's all that there is to me.
My lifestyle must be very careful, cause people like to hug me for my fur. Apparently
have known about me.